legislation in place, Domestic Violence Act, just ask for the advice and assistance. Protection order, if doesn't listen to that, and they will be incarcerated. That's what we want. We wanted to ask from you. Particularly, I just wanted to raise the issues of the personal safety of the campus, because I'm aware that the security is very effective within the borders of the campus. We've got a number of students that are staying, are renting in places like Sejake, Blumanda, and all other township areas. It's very important, students or ladies and gentlemen, that you prioritize your safety, know where you are and know where you can go. These issues of the opportunism is created by our insensitive of our surroundings. There are issues that we wanted to raise with you, particularly of crime. We've got two factors of crime, which is a more policeable crime and a less policeable crimes. We do all our best to our abilities to try to address the more policeable crimes, because those one can be prevented and those one can be detected by the police. But there are these ones that are less policeable crimes that are happening within the doors, like rapes, assault, domestic violence, assaults, where the partners, they will be fighting. Police cannot go around all the places, or cannot go into the bedrooms. Our patrols end outside. So it is better that we take precautionary measures for those less policeable crimes. In my area, which this institution is, we've got the serious problems of robberies, particularly where the targets are the cell phones. Between this institution, right to Cow Vision, and around Tsoselezo, we've got some hooligans that are targeting the students that are coming here. For you not to create that opportunity, can't we try that we don't go around with this, what do they call this, apparatus that you use on the cell phone and you put it on your ears? Because that makes it for everyone to see that this person is having the cell phone, so therefore I can target that person. So it's better that we must be sensitive around our circumstances around ourselves. Other thing that I just wanted to raise with us, now we are heading towards the festive season, and we are starting now with the events that are going to be staged in our area. Right from the Joya celebration this coming weekend, and the spring jumping at Mahungra, Sechaba, and all Makufes and all those things. It is true what the Deputy President of the SRC have just stated, that please don't accept any assistance or any advantage from a stranger. Unfortunately, we cannot arrest a person when he's trying to buy for you a cider. And that is why these people then they think that once they have bought you something, now you belong to him. Ladies, I think you are so precious that you can be bought with a cider. Please, you have then to stand your ground and be firm and say that, no, I'm not that kind of a lady. That's what we will request and expect. Particularly now, with Makufe, we know that is an issue. There will be people that are coming from outside the province who are going to take advantage. Ladies, don't be lured by people who just rented these expensive vehicles just to impress you. We'll be having the GP cars here coming with these expensive cars and trying to be nice gentlemen as if they are loaded, as according to your terms. You are saying that they are loaded. And then they will be taking you, driving around, promising you lots of things. Those people, at the end of the day, they are going to use you. In that nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to call upon all of us that indeed to assist us as the police, our safety must start with us. We are trying to prevent crime, but without the assistance of you, we are doomed to fail. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Colonel Kakudi. I'd like to, as a token of appreciation, just give you a gift from the University. In radio, we say he said something off air, but I'll announce it publicly. He says he hopes he's not captured. Speaking of, in order to not get away with being captured, let's take some questions. The gentleman over there. Is there an extra microphone? Do we have? No. Okay. I'll come to you, sir.
Colonel, I have a question. Now that you know that there are hooligans on the way to and from home, what do you as the colonel do with your staff? Because last week a girl got mugged and nothing happened. So please bring us to the light.
Wait, there was another question up here. Oh, two. Colonel, you're popular today.
Me. Or in addition, I was going to add what the guy has said. Since when you know that there are some places that are not safe for us to travel to use, why not the SAPS maybe after every 5 hours patrol? Because I think police station is just here. It's not far from our campus. Maybe after every 5 hours, we must see maybe every van patrolling. Because I use this roads after was it the Co-Vision Road after, but I've never seen a van patrolling that side. Yet the policemen, they know that they are hooligans that are getting us marked. So why can't you just make a plan and make sure that maybe after every 5 hours you patrol?
And there are peak hours when this happens. Between a certain time, between this and that time, there's a pattern. So these people know their times. They know their times.
Yeah, comrade. Sure, comrade.
Thanks. And do you still have a question? One last question.
Colonel, now that we are approaching the Marhungra and festive seasons, what is it that the SAPS have planned in order to ensure that people who go out and have fun, they are safe? Because you find that if a crime is committed in an event, then we have to call the police. It's going to take time before they can get to the scene. So what is the plan of the SCPS regarding that matter?
All right. 4 questions for you there, Colonel, and you've got them there. So if I may, would you like to hold it?
Yeah, I think that I just want to lodge a complaint, Mr. Murray, of unfair treatment. The deputy president talked here, no one asked him. And yourself, you talk, no one asked you. Now I spoke here, then everyone wants, okay, it's just a joke. You know, my brothers, is with regard to this route here, I think we have already arrested more than 15 suspects. And unfortunately, we understand that sometimes, my brother, some of you are not staying here in Bloemfontein. So now, our frustration is that we will arrest them, we take them to court. And then the court processes are not finalized within your time period while you are here. While you are at home, then they just withdraw the case because the complainant is not here. That's an unfortunate. And another thing maybe that we need to do is that you know that we are living in the constitutional democracy, whereby people are having their liberties and rights. Ne? So now our mere visibility. Let me make this example. When they see van, they just hold themselves. Ne? Now you see me standing here, I'm doing nothing. Then we just pass. After we passed, then they continue with their mission. Do you understand? Now they do this one as their way of planning. But what we resolved for us to arrest this number of people, we get the police that are not wearing uniform, who were going there as like students. And then they tried to mark them, and unknowingly that they are the police. So now, it went off for a while, and then it will come now, it's dropping now. It's not an everyday issue as it was before. Because they saw that then we planned according to their plan. Do you understand me? So those are the issues that we are doing. Remember that I spoke about the issue of opportunity. Criminals, they plan and they use the opportunity. When they see the police, they are not going to carry out their mission because they see that they are going to be arrested. They will wait for the chance to do that. Yes. With regard to your questions about the issue of events, the events have been policed in terms of the SASRIA. That is an act. As we want to respect people's freedom in the events. And unfortunately, what I can tell you, unfortunately, we are the most insulted people at the events. Ne? Do you hear Sotho again? They mostly say that and by that time, when now they are having the problem now, they need police now. Do you understand? Immediately then, remember that we don't want to create the state, the policing state. When you are here, you are enjoying and there is nothing, there is no problem. Why do we have to have visible policing with the firearms? Ne? We are constraining your freedom. So in most of the cases, in those events, there is something called the Venue Operational Center, where there will be police that are going now to check as to what is going on, so that we respect the people's freedom, so that they can enjoy freely without any fear. Yes, sir. I suspect that I respond.
If you're satisfied, I'm satisfied. Thank you. Right. Thank you, Colonel. This illustrates something quite important for me, because, and Colonel, perhaps you will agree with me, from the tone of the questions, there seems to be a theory or a thought that the police aren't doing as much as they can. And from the tone of the answers, it would seem that the police are doing everything that they can. And there seems to be a mismatch or a miscommunication in that students are asking questions claiming that, we know that what the hot times are. And the police are answering, well, we know this is what we're doing. So it's important that we continue these engagements and these dialogues so that students are aware that you have caught 50 suspects, and students can inform you that these are the times that we get assaulted. So thank you for being here, and you want to address something else? Yeah.
Sorry, sir. I just wanted to assure them, because there is a gentleman there, Mr. Matthews. He even came to our police station to raise this problem of the safety in that in this route that I've referred to. So it's just maybe the issue of how then do we exchange the information so that we can also mobilize some of the culprits. Some of them didn't even open the cases, so that they can identify these people so that the culprits then may stay behind the bars. Yes.
Thank you very much, Colonel. It must take a lot to have to stand before the students and take that sort of fire. So another round of applause, please, to the Colonel for their efforts. Right, friends, we're going to take a short break, play a bit of music, and we'll be back with you in about 2 or 3 minutes when we're going to continue with the rest of the program. Right, thank you for holding on for us. I've had literally 3 minutes to speak to some of the students, and these are the numbers of issues that have been raised just with me in those short 3 minutes. The issue of the road between here and Checkers, there was an issue between being harassed by taxi drivers when you refuse to use the taxi services. There's also been an issue raised with me regarding students who live as far as Brandwach having to get to South Campus and back. And of course, the timing issue of when these hotspot crimes occur. So in order to be able to open this conversation up, which is important, especially with the representative of the Student Representative Council here, I'd like for somebody who's willing to please share an incident of crime that they may have experienced, and I can give you a prize for doing so. I've got a couple of prizes, so if anybody would like to share an incident of crime, you seem exceptionally excited to do so. So let's get your story out there.
Hi everyone. 2 weeks back we had attempted break-in in our house at Brandwach. We called the police, they came, they didn't come in, they just passed and told us to look by the window. Then they just passed, they didn't do anything actually. So we are not safe at all because it's girls only.
Well, it's important that we get these stories down, and I'm sure, thankfully, it's not your station, Colonel, that responds in Brandwach, but I'm sure that you can have a conversation with your colleagues there and ensure that sort of thing doesn't happen, and you have the Colonel's undertaking that will happen. So, want your prize? Come take your prize. Is there anybody else who would like to share a story of a crime that they may have experienced?
Yo, who do I address? Okay, 2 weeks back, on Thursday at around to 8. Some girl got jacked by the bus stop. They took a phone and yeah, at a knife point. We came to protection service. They said they'll do something about it. Yeah, but ever since then, I haven't heard of any progress or so. You see now, protection services is failing us in some way. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your narrative. The notion that maybe protection services is failing us. Sorry? The Colonel would like to. The Colonel enjoys speaking to you. The notion that protection services is failing might not necessarily be the case. It would be a matter of what sort of feedback mechanism there is. So it would be great to hear about that, but from the Colonel himself.
Okay. I'm not going to talk about the protection. I think that one is a university security. Particularly with what the lady have said. I always advise the people who are having the problems with the police. We are not saying that the police are saints. There might be some elements that are not professional as according to our code of conduct. But it's advisable that immediately when something happened that we are not happy about, the following day, just go to the station commander and then you raise this thing with the station commander so that there can be repressive actions against those who are responsible for that.
Thank you very much, Colonel. And also, I would like to think that if you raise it with the station commander, that you would have a right to follow up with the station commander and find out what progress has been made with your complaint. So thank you very much for your input, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get more input from you as the program goes on. But I'd like to call upon our next speaker from the Offences Unit, the handling sexual offences cases. Lieutenant Colonel Libitsa is going to address us on the issue of handling sexual assault cases. So thank you very much, Lieutenant Colonel.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm working in Mangaung FCS, which is the Family, Child Protection and Sexual Offenses. Then, what I'm doing, I've got ladies that are doing the investigation. You report the case if the rape has taken place. You report the case, you give, if you know the suspect, you just give the name of the suspect or the description. Then we'll do the follow-up. The most thing that I want to talk about is the abuse of drugs or alcohol by the students. Because most of the cases that we are getting, you'll find that the person is in tavern, then the moment you are drinking, those guys are also watching you, then you drink, after that you decide to live alone. It's not safe to live alone while you know that you are you are drunk, because when you are like that, you cannot do anything, cannot fight, you cannot even be able to identify who the perpetrator is. Then at least even if you are going together with your boyfriend, it's also not safe because they chase the boyfriend and also assault him badly, and then after that they rape the ladies. And they can rape you while they are 4 or 5. So it's not good, and you won't be able to identify them. So I just want to also notify you that, guys, as we are facing this festive season, you're also facing Boma Kufe and the other events. Don't go alone or be two. Go on groups, and don't decide to leave during the night. Even at 7 o'clock, it's already late. I know that we are all having freedom, but people, let's just look after ourselves. Safety, it's by you guys. Because now, we are also facing the problems whereby you find the ladies are taking the lifts from the unknown people. As Colonel have already indicated that we will meet the cars from GP, from Northwest, and from different environment. We won't be able even to tell us the registration number of that car. Some of them, when they meet you guys, they'll put the cloth on your mouth or on your nose, and then you'll fall asleep. Then you won't even be able to tell us the crime scene, because if at least the crime scene is known, we're able to call the dog unit, those people who are helping us with the dogs, to come and take those Siemens or search anything that can be belonging to the perpetrators. The other thing that we are facing is that, as Colonel also have indicated, that we are coming from the different places. You don't know the area. So please, guys, just ensure that whenever you are going and wherever you are going, it's safe. You also have to report anything. Take care of yourself so that we can also be able to know that when we want to arrest the person, you give the description, the marks, the teeth, maybe the dress or whatever on that person, the slender, the fat, or whatever. So please, guys, if you want to know my phone numbers, is 0824676702 if you've got any other thing that you will want to know. Because I know that for the sexual offenses, it's not easy to can talk about it. And then the boys are also being raped, guys. You guys are also being raped. It's not only women who are being raped. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Colonel. If we could give you a gift, please. Sorry. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for Lieutenant Colonel? I have one. May I ask a question? Having worked in the sexual assault industry, the sexual assault situation for a while, of course, and I'm sure quite a few people might agree with me, it's very intrusive. Once you've reported a sexual assault, the testing that has to happen, the reliving of the experience can be quite daunting on the mental health of a person. Are there any conversations happening at the higher levels on how to make it so that you're still able to make a strong case against the perpetrator without really making the victim relive a bad experience? Sorry.
To make cases strong.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Ndati. You know what, now we are working together with forensic laboratories, whereby as soon after you have been, the sexual offense have taken place, we have to get a Siemens from the victim. And then after we have already arrested the suspect, you also get the buccal sample from that perpetrator. Then, as we have already sent the semen that has been taken from the ladies, and that buccal sample will correspond, then that will be the easiest part. And no, it works if that person was once have been arrested, then it's very easy for us to be able to trace him. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Colonel. It's good to see that there's a lot of advancement and improvement in the way that we catch criminal perpetrators, especially of this nature. So thank you for your efforts. And another round of applause to the Lieutenant Colonel and her department, please. Now, from your peer groups, there has been a massive outcry with regards not only to external safety, but internal safety as well, which is why it's important that organizations like Next Chapter exist. And we're very grateful to have Next Chapter with us this afternoon. And we're going to call upon their chairperson, Ms. Ponzo Chabalala, to come and address us on the subject of Next Chapter and mental health.
Thank you. As introduced, my name is Ponzo Chabalala, and first and foremost, I'm a mental health activist, and I'm the standing chairperson of Next Chapter. To briefly explain to you guys what Next Chapter is, we are an association that aims to do three most important things. We aim to let students know, that is, educate, make them aware, and we aim to do three most important things. That is to make students aware, support, and educate students about mental health issues. Because, as I almost say, many of us say we are depressed, but we don't really know what we're speaking about. So we are merely a group of people that are trying to address and redress the stigma attached to mental health issues. I was speaking to your deputy president right now, and on one of the issues that she raises, I said to her, students are dying every day. Students in universities are dying every day, and we are merely an association that is trying to have a voice, that is trying to find existence within such platforms. We are trying to address that, and I would like to say that we have a suicide campaign coming up, because September is Suicide Month, Suicide Prevention Month. And this suicide campaign is going to be going to different places, not only the university. And in conversation with her, I hope that we can try to also come to South Campus and then speak about these issues. Because we believe that if you stand firmly in your story cannot only elevate and liberate you. We are survivors of depression, of anxiety, of PTSD, and many others. So what is the relevance of a movement such as Next Chapter when it comes to Safety Week? Because your safety means that you have to be in a university that is mentally welcoming for you. Your safety means that you have to be in a university that understands the type of person you are and how you operate. And that is to say that we are challenging the university. You're challenging the university as a whole. I'm challenging her also to put pressure on me. And I'm challenging every person in here to try, at least try. Check up on your friends. Students are dying every day. We need to do something about that. So I'm challenging every person in here to stand up and be an advocate for mental health. In closing, I want to say that, which is something that I always say, that the humanity we all share is more important than the mental illnesses we may not. Because I'm a person living with anxiety doesn't mean I'm more important than you. So let us try and be humans before we can be perpetrators and sometimes people that cause stress and traumas to others. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Ms. Chavalala. Now, as she was speaking, this might come as quite a surprise to some of you, but I'm actually quite old. And when I was still a student, we didn't really have a Next Chapter or the benefits of having Next Chapter. So I asked the founder about what Next Chapter actually is, and I think that's quite important information. So please help me welcome Mr. Mahlatsi to discuss what Next Chapter does as an organization.
Hola, how's it? Super. I'm grateful to have these people that I'm working with, and every day where we go speak with people, there's one thing that I like mentioning, and there are times where I don't feel like mentioning it. I want to say to you today, when we found Next Chapter, as you see me, this is how a depressed person can look. As you see him, this is how a person who's living with anxiety can look like. What we are trying to do as Next Chapter, we want to say to you, you can be the best scholar in your field. You can be the best investigating officer. You can be the best parent. You can be the best in all the things that you do in your life. Next, mental health, when it attacks you, it attacks us all. And when it does that, it doesn't choose your title. It doesn't choose which type of family you're coming from. When we found Next Chapter, Richard, in 2016, it was based on a personal experience. I had a depression and I had to drop out of school. So this was the process where I had to reflect, and I said, there's a need for a movement or an organization that is going to challenge students to constantly check up on their mental well-being, because we are surrounded, or rather we are more academics orientated, we are more culturally orientated. We want to achieve things, but we don't look at who and what are the things that are affecting us. So Next Chapter, what it basically tries to achieve, as Ponso did mention, we are trying to say to you as students and the entire community that mental health matters. More especially in black communities where this conversation around mental health you don't have. In black communities, when you talk about mental health, we reduce it to stress, and when you get to Mbata Bar Olowe and it ends there. There are more things that are relating to mental health more than that. So next chapter we are trying to say we want to assist you as students to have a general awareness, or rather have the workshops where you get to be your own psychologist. We are not working alone. We are working with COFSI counseling. We have external psychologists, people who are saying when it gets lit, we can refer you to certain individuals. But at the end of the day, what we are trying to achieve is to say, be your own psychologist, understand your own body, understand how you operate, understand your weaknesses, because it is through that you get to understand and identify when you need help. So I think we did touch on what we are exactly. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Mahlatsi. It's great to be able to have these sort of organizations on campus and around the university. Now, I'd like to open the floor once again to anybody who has a narrative or a story who they'd like to share that they've experienced a particular crime with regards to either on campus or around campus or something like that. Anybody else? There can't just be two. If they are, then great. Nobody else want to share a story where they've had an experience of a crime here at the South Campus or somewhere around? Well, Colonel, there you have it. Thanks. You're doing your job. All right. Well, what we do have for you in closing is that we'd asked the Director of Campus Protection Services, Mr. Maselesa, to come and take your questions with regards to campus security. So if you ever wanted an opportunity to address the Director of Campus Security, this is your chance. I've had him on the Monate Fela breakfast, great gentleman, really affable to just have a conversation with, and also very willing to engage. So unlike a lot of people who would just say they're your problems, this gentleman's really interested in finding out what your problems are, hence why we're having these events, and then we can find a solution that we can both come to. So anybody have a question for the Director of Campus Security? Sorry? I say all is going well. Do you want to Director, perhaps in lieu of a question, maybe you'd like to provide some feedback of some problems that you've encountered, and then some solutions that you've come up with, and what the implementation of those solutions have been.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nogo Masalesa. I'm the Director of Protection Services for University of the Free State. So I noticed that I'm on the program for the closing of the program, but before I go to the closing of the program, I think it is important that we are just going to share with you some of our future plans from protection services that are aimed at improving safety and security for the campus. I want to start by mentioning that the department is in the process of appointing an assistant director who will be responsible for overseeing the investigation services of campus safety and for assisting us with the liaison with our external stakeholders like the police, the road, the municipality and all that. So that will ensure that off-campus safety investigations and liaison with keeping ongoing contact with the police receives a dedicated attention. There was also a concern from the students, especially from the main campus, that the two investigating officers that we have are not enough in terms of following up on the cases that they are reporting. So because the South Campus is also receiving the same services from the two investigating officers, I think this information is important for you. A process is also underway to appoint a dedicated officer, investigating officer for Qwaqwa campus. So having a dedicated officer for Qwaqwa campus will ensure that we in the process of establishing, which is with regard to extension of CPF meetings to the campus. Because what we picked is that because of the location of where CPF meetings are held, students are not able to always attend such meetings because of transport issues and all that. So now we already had a discussion with the chairperson of the CPF in Sector 3, and the same approach will be taken to check with the office of Colonel Gagudi locally to introduce us to whoever is the chairperson of Community Police Forum around here, so that we can see if we can't extend the meetings to the campus as well. And specifically the South Campus, you will remember that initially there were no cameras at this campus. And then with the assistance of my colleague here, Mr. Stephen Matthews, whom I think you know very well, he conducted a security vulnerability assessment to check what are the vulnerable areas, where are the hotspots and all that. And he submitted a recommendation to say, we need to install security cameras at the South Campus, and then we have installed the security cameras at the campus. Hence, we are able to follow up in case there are cases that happen on campus. And another process is underway to make sure that we install for you the red pole alarms that we have at the main campus. Those are the alarms that we are going to activate if anywhere around the